everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R chat for Sunday, March 15th, 2026. Please tell me that Diane is going to walk through the door and rescue Jack from Patty's slow seduction. That seduction was longer than Kane's video message. Almost. Both of them kept just going on and on and on. It's just so hot in there, you know? It just got so hot in that tiny cabin on that big boat in the middle of the night with all of those beautiful lights. So what happened? Did Patty and Jack accidentally drug themselves on the drink cart or the food? Did food or what? How did that happen? Or was it all part of Patty's plan? Because Jack certainly seemed way more out of it than she was. But to hear her side of the story of how everything went down, she just made it all seem so normal. But, you know, seriously, what happened? Somebody probably waved a dollar bill in front of her face and then lured her up the ramp of the yacht and then slammed the door shut behind her. That's the true story. Diane is going to be so devastated when she walks in on Patty and Jack undressed in bed. But she will have to forgive him, right? I mean, she will have to know that it was all a plot. She already knows that he was kidnapped. I mean, she knows it's part of Victor's plan. She wasn't expecting the Patty part. But even so, even knowing everything that she knows, she can't hold it against him, right? What happens on the boat stays on the boat, right? Because we know Jack was thinking of Diane. Maybe he was even confused, thinking that he was with Diane. We saw Jack rejecting Patty's advances earlier in the week before he gave in to the scotch. You know, he said, I've got to get out of this death ship. What is it going to take to get you to open up this door right now? And Patty said, oh, nothing. Just, well, maybe a little kiss. And Jack agreed. He agreed to the kiss, you know, for his freedom. And then when it came time to deliver the kiss, Jack pecked her on the lips like he was a little boy on the playground giving his very first kiss. And Patty said, no, 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 no. You are going to have to do better than that. So Jack made good with a deeper kiss, one that involved hands and hair, rubbing and such, which I feel is completely unfair. You know, she said kiss, but then what she was really meaning was makeout. And those are two completely different things. So I feel like that was a bad deal from the start. I mean, that is a classic bait and switch. She said kiss, she meant make out. Totally unfair. That really should have been the first clue. I tell you what, I felt wretched for even watching it. I felt so bad for Jack because I'm trying to have fun here, watching my soaps, being entertained. And even for just the kiss, the look on his face was so non-consensual. And I was like, you know what? This isn't fun anymore. I was hoping to have fun, and this isn't feeling fun. I actually ended the episode where he forced himself to kiss her with kind of a sick feeling. I truly felt a little sick after watching it. And that was just the kiss. It got worse. Flash to Friday, and Patty follows through with her part of the deal. She took him on a tour of the yacht, which we did not get to see, unfortunately. Apparently it's a beautiful boat, a beautiful night, and she was really enjoying herself. But somewhere along the way, the drugs kicked in. Maybe her part was a ruse. I don't know. But the drugs kicked in, and then so did the seduction. When Patty popped her shirt open, Jack was like, boing, eyes wide as saucers. Is this my birthday? He was so confused. He was like, do I want this? Do I not want this? I don't know. It was awful. Awful. I mean, first her shirt, then his tie, then his shirt, then, oh, just lay down here on the bed while I take advantage of you. Let me tell you, I was looking forward to having Patty around. I thought this would be fun. But this was not fun. It was creepy. It is about darn time that somebody looped Tracy in about Jack's kidnapping. I mean, these are the kinds of things one would want to know about one's family. I was so happy to see her face. Diane and Kyle and Billy had been on the case of the missing Jack, all week long. And they actually did a pretty good job of making progress. They were able to glean a lot from just one ransom photo and some random security footage. It was some solid detective work, I have to say. I was pretty impressed all in all. Billy was able to trace Jack to a marina in Kenosha. And so Diane and Billy and Kyle all hopped in the car. Loved Kyle in the back seat, you know, like backseat driving the whole way. They all get in the car, they all drive up there, and they start asking questions at the marina. Cost Billy $10,000. Love that there was a number on that, by the way. Just love knowing that, like, what did he do? Did he stand there and write a check for 10 grand for the information? Or did he come pre-prepared with $10,000 in cash stuffed into his pockets? I don't know, but I love the idea. That gets a thumbs up from me. But he basically pays for the information to find out that the boat, the yacht, was rented by a beautiful, alluring woman whose name just so happened to be Patty Williams. Yes, that's right. The woman who has used at least 3 different aliases and even got plastic surgery to facilitate her aliases. Yes, that's right. She rented the boat in her own name. I mean, clearly, Victor put her up to it, right? This is all completely Victor's plan, right? I mean, certainly he would have let her put the boat in her name because he would have wanted to make it look like this was all part of Patty's plan and he had nothing to do with it. I just somehow feel like he embedded a little bit of a safety net for himself in there by letting other, so that he could have some plausible deniability. Oh no, it wasn't all me. Patty's the crazy one. Patty's the crazy villain, not me. But I mean, it's impossible though to deny that he was literally bargaining with Phyllis to get Newman Enterprises and Chancellor and Newman Media, get the whole kit and caboodle back in exchange for Jack's release. So, I mean, he knows, no matter, at the very least, he knows, and he pulled the trigger on it somehow. And now Nikki knows. That was fun, waiting for that bomb to detonate. Nikki, always the last to know. Victor, you tell me what's going on right now. Oh. I mean, Victor managed to tap dance around it or avoid her. He was avoiding her for a couple of episodes. But surely he expected that she would find out eventually. He knew she was going to find out about this. He just didn't care. And Nikki always forgives him anyway. What's the big deal? He has kidnapped before. Recently. But when she confronted him about it, he basically said, "Oh, please. Your boyfriend Jack is just fine. Your boyfriend Jack is fine." Which I think says a lot about his frame of mind. I think Victor truly thinks that there is something going on between Nikki and Jack. Maybe not necessarily a physical affair, but I think Victor believes there's an emotional affair going on between them, which is arguable, I suppose, as to whether or not there is. But that's his perspective. And so he of course he isn't going to hesitate to kidnap Jack. What does he care? And then all he had to do was watch Nikki's reaction to it, and he feels validated in his actions. Nikki said, "Victor, I just don't know if I can ever forgive you for this." Which is, nothing that we all haven't heard before 100 times. And at this point, it just almost falls on deaf ears. I just don't even hear it. Like, there is, I think, literally nothing that Victor could do that would make her leave him. She's already threatened to leave him and then didn't follow through on it a couple of months ago. So I just feel like there's nothing Victor could do that could really add up to any real personal consequences for him. So it's fine. I'm sure it will all be smoothed over in a few weeks. Although if Jack loses his wife over this, I don't know. I mean, I have no doubt about it that Jack is going to be mad and livid. But I just feel like, you know, Nikki's going to side-eye Victor and soothe Jack. And Victor and Nikki will argue about it, but they'll still go to bed side by side. Now and forever. I guess in Victor's defense, all of the Newmans have been racking their brains trying to find a way, a plan to get Newman Enterprises back, and it looks like Victor's method, questionable as it is, might actually be the one to get the job done. At first, Victor was just bargaining for Chancellor, which Phyllis didn't really care about anyway. All she had to do was screw over Billy to ensure that Jack got safely returned, which was what Billy ultimately wanted too. If Billy had control of Chancellor, he would have handed it to Victor to get Jack back. But then Victor switched the deal. Another bait and switch. This is bait and switch week on YNR. And Victor told Phyllis he wants it all back. Well, I mean, I don't think Phyllis is going to agree to give it all back. Unless the one person who has actually been supportive of her starts to turn on her. Lauren. I think Lauren is unknowingly the key to unlocking all of this, because Lauren has been so supportive that she's even considering taking a job on top of her other job just to support Phyllis. That's crazy to me. How is that for your life? Like, you own and operate a major department store brand, and then in your spare time, sure, I'll also take a side hustle working for a different company in a completely unrelated field. No prob, I've got some spare time in retirement. Or approaching retirement. But, I mean, here's the thing. If after all of Lauren's support, Lauren then finds out that Jack has been kidnapped and Phyllis can save him but won't, although I mean, Jack maybe is going to be getting rescued already next week, but I just feel like if Lauren catches wind of that at all, then she is probably going to pull her support, you know, and then that's going to make Phyllis truly becoming what everyone says that she is, alone. That's the theme of all this. Lonely at the top. You can only have love or power, but not both. That seems to be what everyone is saying. Love or power, not both. Unless you're Victor Newman, in which case, I don't know, I guess just give him his company back so we can move on. I am super excited to move on to a story that's going to give us something new for Adam. I mean, he and Chelsea are doing their own laundry. We cannot have that, you guys. I mean, it's time. They should draw the line at having to do their own laundry. We cannot have the vampire prince folding his own underwear. I refuse. And so I am thrilled to now find out that Matt Clark has drug connections in Las Vegas, a connection to a woman named Riza, who has a connection to the man formerly known as Spider. Should I start a petition to just rename Adam the man formerly known as Spider? We'll create a little symbol for him. Spider, AKA Adam Newman, in the story that introduced Mark Grossman as the new Adam. What do you think of that? We're going all the way back to Mark Grossman's beginning of his run as Adam. That's right where that story started. I do have some photos of Riza that I dug through the YNR chat photo archives, and I posted those in the daily chat thread for this past week. If you scroll through there, you can see photos of Riza. I think I had maybe like 2 photos of her face, but I don't know if the actress is going to be coming back or not. I also went and looked through the comings and goings and didn't see anything about the actress coming back, so I'm not quite sure what YNR has planned for this, but I am so intrigued. I actually put together a retro recap for you guys this week. It's called When Adam Was Spider. And you can find it on my YouTube channel or just go to yrchat.com. It's interesting. It's short-lived but interesting. An explosion, a fake identity, amnesia. It is all very intriguing. I'm surprised that it's all coming back up now, but it's the kind of story, it's the kind of callback that definitely, there's plenty of room to play with here. There's a million different directions we could potentially go here. And I like also the psychological aspect of it, and I tried to dig into that during that retro recap video, because there's a lot of concern about Adam right out the gate. Concern from Nick and Chelsea and Sharon, all concerned about what this might do to Adam. And so I kind of try to explore that a little bit in that retro recap, thinking about, where his frame of mind was at that time, why it was such a difficult time for him. So again, highly recommend that video. I just think his time as Spider has been so shrouded in mystery, and it's clearly a time in his life that he doesn't like to think about. So I vote, let's get into it. I also really appreciate this new turn for the story, because suddenly now there's this reason for Nick and Adam to bond, right? And it feels, there's something about it that's very satisfying. That feels very good. Nick has been trying to find Matt Clark. He has to find Matt Clark in order to end this cycle of text messages. I'm all for that. And Adam wants to help Nick. He wants to help his brother. And the reason he cited was, well, that's what family does. I liked hearing him say that somehow. It just felt like, oh, good. Bonding. But Nick is very grumpy right now due to the fact he's got a lot going on, including a drug addiction that he does not need Adam catching wind of. So Nick is pushing Adam away. He's saying, no, I don't want you to have to go through reliving your past trauma just for me. And I think that Nick is genuine when he's saying that. But I also think it's genuine that Adam keeps pushing back, saying, hey, bro, let's find this guy. If something that, if there's some information that I have that might be able to help you, then I want to help you. And you should let me use my skills to help you, my connections. And then when we find Matt, you can do whatever you want with him. So this has my interest piqued. I think that Nick is going to find Matt, no doubt about it. But what's more interesting to me is, what will Adam find? Yay! Finally this week, I'm feeling connected to Sienna. I have to say, I was impressed. Sienna had the nerve to name the thing that no one else wanted to name. Nick's drug addiction. Everyone has seen it. Everyone has expressed concern about him, and everyone knows that something is not right. But Sienna is the only one who has identified it, said it out loud, and I think that took guts. Because telling your boyfriend that you think his dad, who is his hero, is a drug addict now, I mean, that really could have backfired on their relationship. And to Noah's credit, he heard what she had to say. He agreed that it was possible. And most importantly, he tried to dig a little deeper just to try to understand how and why Sienna was so certain about this. It turns out that Sienna's brother died of a drug overdose. And of course, there was a long road of addiction before that where she watched him deteriorating. So she knows the signs. And not for nothing, by the way, it was Sienna who uncovered the Riza Matt connection in Vegas. So I feel like Sienna is suddenly really pulling her weight in this story. Now on to the most important question that Sienna asked this week. Is it too indulgent to order the empanadas and the Caesar salad? I think we all know the answer is no, it is not too indulgent, because when the plate arrived, it contained only one empanada with some lettuce on the side. Whack-a-mole. Yes, that's right. That's our Who Said It for the week. Whack-a-mole. Who on earth said the phrase whack-a-mole on this week's Y&R episode? I have to say, it's someone who I would not have ever expected to hear the phrase whack-a-mole coming out of their mouth. Well, if you want to find out who said whack-a-mole, go to yrchat.com. Let's take a look at some comments, starting with Naomi, who says, did Adam really say that their savings wouldn't last long? That's how normal people live. I thought that most Y&R characters would have money stashed away to last a very long time. I mean, yeah. That is ridiculous. I mean, the fact is, Phyllis was able to hijack all of the Newman Enterprises business assets. That should not have had anything to do with their personal assets. And anybody who anybody who has those high level positions would certainly have a significant amount of personal assets stashed away. Who was it that said Victor probably has gold buried under the floorboards? That's true. I'm sure Victor has gold bars stored away like it's Fort Knox. And even, Adam and Chelsea, come on, if they're taking salaries, they surely had a ton of savings. They also own their homes, so I feel like they're fine. They're fine. Russell says Adam looking out for Nick might be the sweetest thing since Sharon and Phyllis buried the acrylic nails. I hope the brothers stay good with each other too, as long as they have an outside enemy. It's possible. Yeah, Russell, I really agree. I was getting good vibes from Nick and Adam this week. That was very pleasurable to watch. Let's just hope that unlike the Sharon Phyllis connection, maybe the Adam and Nick connection can really last and really be nurtured. T. Nicole says, I hope Adam is the one to help save Nick with his drug addiction story. Yeah, T. Nicole, Adam definitely almost caught Nick taking the pills at Crimson Lights. And if Nick and Adam are going to be traveling together, investigating together, in Vegas together, and Nick is going to be continuing to have to sneak his pills, Adam is certainly primed to be the one to catch him. No doubt about that. And I think that's why Nick is refusing Adam's help. I think he doesn't want Adam too close. I think he doesn't really want anyone too close right now because he can't risk having them find out that he's actually hooked. Tony says, I hope it's Phyllis that helps Nick with his drug addiction story, distracting her from all the corporate drama, and then realize that we might lose Nick. Oh, yeah. I know, right? It kind of feels like Phyllis and Nick had this very special relationship for so long. And boy, Nick said, I'm done with you. And he really meant it. They haven't had much interaction since then. But also, Phyllis kind of maybe helping Nick out with the addiction could be good for bolstering her character a little bit too. Robin says, I think it would be a great storyline to have Adam and Chelsea actually do the fantasy about being card shark cons. It would be fun, and they are so cute. They're my favorite couple on the show. Yeah, I like Adam and Chelsea too, and I want them to stay together, but I'm worried about that because I don't know, I feel like several weeks ago, YNR was kind of hinting about Adam and Sally. But then again, I don't know, Sally's back together with Billy now. But there's something about this spider situation coming up, maybe getting a new character in Riza, that makes me worry about Adam and Chelsea, which is unfortunate because I really like Adam and Chelsea. I wish that whatever's going to go on in Vegas, this whole spider thing, I wish Chelsea were in on it. Not just stuck in this position of feeling afraid of it. Yeah. Steven says, the casino talk felt like a waste of Chelsea's real talent. She's a world-class designer. Not someone to lure Marks in for Adam. How about a Forrester Creations partnership instead? Chelsea launches her own Genoa City label, serving the Midwest market with Forrester's prestige behind her. Something that's finally hers. Yeah, and the same can really be said for Sally too. I feel so similar about those two. They both had, years of being designers, and that just doesn't get, it got written away to just fold the these independent, talented, creative women into these media businesses to fuel the Abbott Newman war. That's a little lackluster for me. But I love your idea specifically, Stephen, because it would be like a built-in B&B crossover if there was a Forrester Creations arm in Genoa City. Speaking of fashion, you guys had a lot of fashion comments this week. Sue W says, Phyllis's weird red geometric print dress is plain old ill-fitting awful. Although her sexpot self somehow rocks any faux sultry nonsense, this one looks gutter snipe cheap. Phyllis should really stock up on some actual designer duds while she temporarily has the bucks. But can those buy class? Ooh, burn, Sue W. I saw the geometric print dress. It just didn't strike me as, I saw it and didn't note it being different in any way. The only thing that I noticed about the dress was that she had the matching burgundy coat that went nicely with it. And I love outerwear. I love seeing coats. Naomi says, Phyllis somehow looks as if she spends time on hair and makeup and then stands at her hotel closet and grabs the easiest thing. Yeah, I guess she does always go with just a dress. Yeah, you're right. I never thought about it before, but she basically she's mastered the slinky dress look. Maybe it would have been fun if we could have glammed Phyllis up with some power suits or something, like did a little bit of a style change while she was in power. Maybe that would have made her takeover even more fun. I don't feel like Phyllis's takeover has been super fun. It's been all her having to justify it over and over again, which is exhausting. I mean, she has the same conversation with everyone over and over again, and it's not fun. Like, maybe if she would have got a style change to go along with it, like maybe if we could have seen her portrait on the wall. We saw the empty space where the portrait used to be. I mean, Phyllis needed to get her portrait up there on the wall. Maybe a new, like some shoulder pads, like some kind of crazy 80s power makeover. Like, go ahead and the storyline's over the top. The fact that she would be able to just click a couple keys and steal some companies and there'd be no repercussions and nobody questions it is ridiculous and over the top anyway. Why not match it with some cool styling? But you cannot take away the face and the makeup are amazing. Every time, every day. Phyllis's hair and makeup are amazing. In fact, I was watching her in the scene with Lauren this week, and it dawned on me, finally, what's a little bit different with Phyllis's face is she must use some kind of like gloss, maybe an oil. I don't know what is, but she shines. Her face is shiny. Because then I was looking at Lauren, and her face was more matte. Not saying one is better than the other, but I do think that that's sort of a signature look for Michelle Stafford. She always looks moist. And I love that. I love that look. And she's got her whole like skincare line, I guess. So maybe she's got some kind of special product. I don't know. I'm not a makeup and skincare girl, really, honestly. I don't know that much about any of it, but I wonder if that's like, it seems like that's her signature style. Moist face. Naomi says, it's nitpicking, but I wish Noah's hair was a different color and style. If it was darker like Nick's or more blonde like Sharon's, it would give some contrast to his eyes. This comment made me laugh, Naomi, because I thought, ooh, if we could only swap their heads. If only they could be true Barbie dolls for us, and we could just take Noah's hair and pop that off and pop on a different hair, or who can? Oh no, whole head. I don't know. It's just too bad that they're not interchangeable. It's too bad we can't customize our Y&R characters, because I certainly would. There's a couple people I would love to pop off that hair and put on this hair or whatever. You know, like paper dolls. You can give Phyllis a different outfit on a daily basis. I love that idea. Sharon W. says, I've been noticing Sharon wearing so many jeans, skirts, or jackets. She's so pretty. I prefer seeing wardrobe putting her in dressier tops with slacks or skirts. That's just what I think looks better on her. You know, Sharon went through a long stage where it was all leather pants. I can't even think of the last time I saw her in leather pants. I kind of like that look on her. Or I think somebody else mentioned she used to kind of have more of a boho, hippie, beach girl kind of vibe at certain points. I liked that too. I think I liked that too. Sort of flowy Sharon, but I like the vampy leather Sharon too. I don't know, her outfits really haven't been standing out to me one way or the other lately. Victoria says, does anybody know what is pinned on the front of Nikki's pants? Interesting fashion choice. Yeah, Victoria, I thought Nikki had on an interesting outfit though too. It was like a skirt, and then I think it was just a very complicated belt that went with the skirt, but also had two like little shiny things on the hips, like you know, the knobs that go on your dresser drawers. There was like two knobs on the front of her skirt dresser. And then a matching belt. And Patty had on a very complicated belt too. And I think like the belts almost like meld together with the skirt. They camouflage in so it looks like there's jewelry on the front of your skirt. Fashion trend. Okay, back to the story. Sharon W. says, Victor and Phyllis are fantastic together. They both have a sarcastic sense of humor and are really great at playing that against each other. Phyllis tells Victor she's a good person, and he asks, really? Then chuckles. This playful chumminess paired with their actual dismissiveness of the other's opinions is great comedy. Please give us much more of these two without an audience of Newmans in the room. Yeah, Phyllis and Victor's scenes together are all very interesting. Remember that scene a couple weeks ago where he was giving her the key to Newman Enterprises? Yeah, they really do make an interesting pair on screen. Might be interesting to see them working together too. Who knows? Oh, you guys, Tavi mentions Billy Flynn is so good as Kane. That scream. Okay, I'm so glad you mentioned this because yes, Billy Flynn is so talented. He is very good, but I have got to tell you, it was rough getting through that scene for me, those Kane scenes for me. I cannot watch him have another long phone call, write another long letter, make another long video chat. It's like constant. It's like that, they just keep writing that type of scene for him. It is so exhausting. There's only so much monologuing that I can handle from one character. And I agree with you, Tavi. Billy Flynn is great. He delivered the material beautifully, of course. But it's just like, he needs to start getting in and interacting with some other characters or something. I feel like Lily leaving the show, Crystal Khalil's going off on maternity leave, really kind of interrupted whatever plans Y&R had for Kane, and now they're just filling space. But that's what it feels like to me. Filler. I'm going to be looking forward to Lily coming back so that at least he can have these conversations with her. I remember, I think it was Valentine's Day, where he gave her the champagne and the strawberries, and I actually felt the chemistry there. I'm looking forward to actually feeling the chemistry between the two characters, not just Kane in a phone call. But I think that's an interesting poll question for this week, because I want to know if I'm the only one who felt that way, specifically about Friday's scenes. Even though they're good, It's a miss for me. And I want to know if you guys agree or disagree. So yrchat.com, that's our poll question for the week. Kane's solo scenes, hit or miss? yrchat.com. Let's keep reading some comments. Naomi says, I loved watching Victor be so spiteful to Nikki. Victor is brilliantly setting up revenge on many fronts. He's hurting Nikki and Diane and Jack by setting up the Jack and Patty reunion. Victor asking Nikki if she's jealous was golden dialogue. Then he puts his coat on and sarcastically says, bye-bye. He has had it with Nikki's righteous indignation over his evil deeds. She lives and is treated like a princess, but it comes with a price tag of ignoring Victor's ruthless and vindictive tactics. She could distance herself from Jack, but chooses not to, so she reaps Victor's wrath. He may well be mad enough at both Jack and Nikki to just tell her to get out, like he did a few months back. All in all, these scenes with Victor at his less than cuddly grandpa self are good. Go Victor. Cry Nikki, cry. This is the Y&R of yesteryear. Ooh, Naomi, I love so many parts of this comment. First of all, starting with, this is the Y&R of yesteryear. It is so, it's easy to want to rest on our laurels of Victor and Nikki being happily ever after. But the truth is, the majority of their relationship has not been that. The majority of their relationship over time has been bitter. They've been awful to each other. He's been awful to her. She's been awful to him. So in that way, I think you're really right. This is the Y&R of yesteryear. But also, this is an excellent point. Nikki kind of lives as Victor's queen, and the price tag of that is that she has to just deal with whatever he's going to do. That's the dynamic of their relationship. She has always accepted it. And it seems to suit them both on some level. They've both chosen it. But you do make another excellent point, Naomi, that Victor might be tired of having to just constantly justify himself. Maybe at the end of the day, he'll just tell her to leave. What would she do if she was forced to follow through on that threat? Sue W. says, I may have zoned out about some of the story, but do the viewers know that it is Victor behind Jack's detainment? Has it been established? Well, I gotta say, I just do want to mention, I think there's a little bit of room here to speculate, because Victor did tell Billy that it was Chancellor or he'd never see Jack again. That was the deal. So Victor knows that Victor's been kidnapped. But the ransom photo was anonymous. It did come from a burner phone. So that can't be directly tied to Victor. And also the details about the boat and the rental, that's all tied to Patty now. So I guess the question is, how much is Victor involved? We don't know. I mean, he had to have planned it on some level, because he also admitted it to Nikki. So I don't know, but I mean the depth of his involvement, I guess there's some wriggle room to be interpreted. But to think that Patty planned it all herself, I don't know about that. Russell says, sorry, Patty, I am not buying your recovery. Your airy voice, delusional views about your predicament. Girl, you're still cray-cray. And okay, Victor put Molly in the alcohol, and Jack and Patty are high as bleep. For those that may not know, Molly makes you love everyone and everything and ready to show it. Or so I've heard. Also, when Jack's hair is messed up, you know something's going on. I've never seen Jack stare at breasts so long. Peter Bergman must have got his hair done for these scenes too, because I noticed that his hair looks extra good. They did a little something. Jack has always had good hair, and the hair still looks good, no doubt about it. So props to Peter Bergman's hair this week. My goodness, him staring at those breasts. It was, I screen capped it. It was hilarious. But yeah, that's an interesting point. If it was like ecstasy or some kind of party drug or whatever, that makes you, all of a sudden amorous, shall we say. So, I mean, none of this is Jack's fault. That's why it's like, really? Can Diane really hold it against him? She can be, if she's gonna hold it against anybody, I would think it would be Victor, right? And Patty. Tavi says, so Stacy Hyduck did an interview the other day, and it sounds like Patty is staying long term. She says Patty returns to Genoa City, and she has new power. She wants Jack back and makes new alliances and friends. She says there's no cats this time. Oh, interesting. New power? So what could that mean? Maybe it's just money. I mean, I almost kind of wonder is there any possibility that this is Patty's plan and maybe she just cued Victor in on it and they partnered together? Is there any chance Patty, this is supposed to be a more calculating, more together version of Patty, no cats. Maybe she's got money now and she's the one who orchestrated it? I don't know. Ooh, final comment comes from Connie, who says, I am so ready for a Tracy visit. She is like a fairy godmother that calms the crazy and makes everyone feel better, including the audience. Yeah, I agree. I love Tracy. It was so weird in the preview. They showed Nikki, a shot of Nikki and then just the back of somebody's head before we saw the face. And just the way her hair was styled, I know it's weird. For a split second, I thought I was looking at the back of Catherine's head. I don't know if, I'm sure I'm the only one who had that, but it was just like this moment. I'm like, and then flipped over, it's Tracy, and I'm like, oh, that's fine. That's just as good. Tracy is fantastic. I don't know why she's not on all the time, but it makes me appreciate when she is on, especially now because Patty is the poison, Tracy will be the medicine. Okay, everybody, that is a Y&R chat. Oh my goodness, I hope you enjoyed this week of shows. If you are craving a little bit of backstory on Adam as Spider, you can go to yrchat.com and watch that retro recap. It's like 15 minutes long. I think it's a pretty good little dive into Adam's psyche at the time and also what was going on Y&R at that time. Mark Grossman's first story. I'd love to hear some thoughts on how you guys feel about Mark Grossman now that we're so far into his Adam run. That's at yrchat.com. If you are craving an old school Y&R slow burn story, The Fauna and the Flora is available to you. The audiobook is great and does include my impressions of Mickey Newmouse and Victor Newmouse. Also, there's a prominent part in there for Macy Abbott, one of my favorites. I'm deep into writing book 2, which is just so much fun. I actually feel like book 2 is almost more fun in a way because when I wrote The Fauna and the Flora book 1, it definitely felt like, this is the story of a lifetime. If I ever get to tell one story, it will be this. And so I spent 6 years crafting it, making it exactly what I needed it to be. And there's something about book 2 now I'm like, well, I've done it once, so I kind of know what to expect. And now also some of my expectations are split away. I feel like I can have a little bit more fun and not as much writing on it. I just feel like book 2 is going to be a lot more fun. It jumps into the drama a lot quicker. And I'm deep into it. I think I'm probably about halfway done with the writing. Of course, there will be like 2 more drafts I'll end up going through and a long road ahead, especially if I record another audiobook. But I'm deep in book 2 right now, and it's deeply satisfying and deeply fun, I have to say. So go read book 1 of The Fauna and the Flora, Return to Genoa City. You got to get that in before book 2 comes out. Should I spoil the title of book 2? No. I'll keep it to myself unless you guys really want to hear it. Let me know. And of course, there's yrchat.com. That's a great place to just talk about YNR throughout the week. I always look at comments there. That's where I pull these comments from to read. That's where the really great conversations take place. So I hope you guys use that space, enjoy that space, vote in the poll, see the photos. I mean, you got to see that photo of Jack the second Patty took her top off. That thing belongs in a time capsule. yrchat.com. I love you guys. I will see you next Sunday, okay? All right. Bye.